In the Old Testament of the Bible, there's a book by the name of Jeremiah. It was written by the prophet Jeremiah back, around 600 BC. One of the things that I've learned over time is that most people really don't have a good clue as to the historical background that was happening in the book of Jeremiah. And so through this video, I want to introduce you to Jeremiah, God's man in a world at war. Now, this video is part of a series that accompanies the novel that I've written called The Brotherhood of the Scroll, and a course guide that I've put that goes with the novel called Clash of the Superpowers. And in fact, this particular video goes with the introduction, which I call The Legacy of Judah's Kings. Here in this timeline, we can see, especially in the first cell from 697 to 640 BC, there were two evil kings, one by the name of Manasseh and then his son Amon. And so those two guys ruled for nearly 60 years. And at that time, the Assyrian Empire was ruling and basically had conquered Judah. And so these guys paid tribute to Assyria. And one of the things that Manasseh and his son Amon did was that they picked up the various religions of the Assyrians. Josiah, the son of Amon, was born and became king at around 640 BC at the age of 8. And so he began to institute various types of reforms that we'll talk about in a minute. But one of the things about the Assyrian Empire is it covered a wide territory. It not only included what we know as the nations of Israel and Iraq and Iran in modern times, but also portions of modern Turkey and the southern part of the former Soviet Union, as well as the modern state of Egypt. Now, they were themselves conquered by Babylon, but Babylon had a smaller empire. And so you can see south of the dotted line here, the Babylonians controlled that part, and also the Babylonians did not control Egypt. Well, one of the goddesses of the Assyrian pantheon was something called Asherah. And so Manasseh, who was known as an evil king in the Bible, built altars to both Baal, a male god, and Asherah, his wife or consort. This is an image of what Asherah was depicted as by the Assyrians in terms of what he looked at. You can read more about that in 2 Kings 21. But one of the things that the followers of Asherah did was they had what were called temple prostitutes. So farmers who wanted to guarantee a fertile harvest of crops would go and have sexual relations with the temple prostitutes to kind of symbolize fertility. That's one of the things that went on with a lot of the pagan types of worship of the various countries that surrounded Judah and Israel at that time. Another Assyrian god was the god Moloch. Now, Moloch was a very terrible god because the Assyrians would offer babies to be sacrificed in the fire in their worship of Moloch. The idol or the altar that was used came to be called a topeth. And so Manasseh, the king of Judah, practiced this. He put such an idol in the temple of Solomon and even sacrificed some of his own children. And so Josiah, his grandson, became king in 640 BC at the age of 8. A few years later, the Assyrian king Assurbanipal died, and Jeremiah began his prophetic ministry. And within a few years of Jeremiah becoming a prophet, in 622 BC, Josiah was having the Temple of Solomon rebuilt and basically building it up because it had fallen into disrepair. And while they were doing that, they found the ancient law of Moses that Moses had written. And this set off a religious rebirth of worshiping Yahweh, and Josiah wanted to have religious reform to get all the people worshiping God, and so forth. One of the things that happened was that Babylon sacked Nineveh, the capital of Assyria, in 612 BC, and in 609, King Josiah was going to battle against the Egyptian pharaoh who had come to do battle with the Assyrians and died. Josiah's son Jehoiakim became king, and like his great grandfather Manasseh, again began to worship those detestable gods of the Assyrians, and again reinstituted infant sacrifice. Well, in terms of what Josiah was trying to do, as I said, he tried to rebuild the temple, and he really wanted to get the people back to following God. And you can read more about that in 2 Kings chapters 22 and 23. But after Josiah died, the people reverted to their evil ways. And in Jeremiah chapter 7, verses 30 to 31, we read, "For the sons of Judah have done that which is evil in my sight, declares the Lord. They have set their detestable things in the house which is called by my name to defile it. They have built the high places of Topheth, which is the valley of the son of Hinnom, to burn their sons and their daughters in the fire." And so Jeremiah talks about this. And one of the things that I try to do in my novel, The Brotherhood of the Scroll, is to capture that moment when Jeremiah realizes that the people have only got faith in God that is skin deep. And so you can read about that in an excerpt that I've put on my website. I've put the link here at the bottom of the slide, but you'll also find it in the description of this particular YouTube video, should you wish to go there. Well, as I mentioned, this is the first of a series of videos that I'm going to be doing that go along with my course, The Clash of the Superpowers. Now, if you'd like to receive future updates and future videos for free, you can go to my website at wisejargon.com/brotherhood. You scroll down on the right-hand side, you'll see this little form, and you can fill that out, and then I'll send updates periodically when I create more of these videos. I hope to do at least a series of 10 here over the next several months. And so thanks so much for listening, and God bless.